The Anglo-Dutch multinational Unilever is one of the world's largest consumer goods companies. Now it's announced a $35 million investment in Cuba. CCTV's Michael Voss joins us live from Havana to tell us all about it. Michael, Unilever used to have a presence in Cuba, but it pulled out a few years ago. So what's changed?
Rochelle, Unilever were here for almost 15 years in a 50-50 joint venture with a state-run Cuban company. Then the government stepped in and wanted to renegotiate the deal to take a controlling interest, something Unilever weren't prepared to do. And in 2012, they pulled out. And since then, we've had regular shortages of everything from detergents to deodorants. Now, with the new foreign investment law, the Cuban authorities are saying that Unilever can return with a 60% majority holding in the new company. It'll be based at the new tax-free special development zone around the port of Mariel.
With the new foreign investment legislation, we were able to change our company's fiscal and legal status. This gave us the opportunity to make a more powerful investment and construct a more solid foundation. This is exactly what happened.
The Cubans are hoping that Unilever's return will send a message to other potential investors that this is a country they can do business in. There are still some major issues ranging from the dual currency to restrictive labor laws, not to mention the continuing US trade embargo against Cuba. But ever since the US and Cuba announced that they would restore diplomatic relations, there's been a non-stop stream of politicians and businessmen coming here. Last week, Germany's Vice-Chancellor Sigmar Gabriel led a group of 60 business executives to Havana.
We
are looking for a new partnership, but we need to have the right conditions for German industry to invest here. Above all, it's about the pace of Cuban reforms and less bureaucracy.
This German mission is the latest in a long line of foreign companies hoping to do business in Cuba and looking to be amongst the first to get a foot in the door here. But for the moment, these trade missions are mainly exploratory. So far, very few new investments or trade agreements have been signed. Many foreign business people are still not sure this is a profitable place to invest, while the Cuban government has been slow at approving what deals are on the table. The Germans did sign a provisional agreement to open an economic affairs office in Havana to promote future trade and investment. Right now, there are some 30 German companies operating in Cuba, including Mercedes-Benz, which sells trucks and commercial vehicles to state enterprises. The Americans are also looking for new opportunities, and last week also saw the governor of Virginia bring a team of business and state officials to the new deepwater port at Mariel. They've now signed a cooperation agreement between Mariel and the Port of Virginia in a bid to boost trade and establish direct links to Cuba.
It is my dream that soon, when the Panama Canal is opened with its new widening, which should happen this spring, that these gigantic TEUs, post-Panamax ships, will come to Virginia. They will unload in Virginia, they will reload in Virginia, and then they will come down here to Cuba. And we will use this as a transfer point to other Caribbean nations and to other parts of Latin America.
Now, with the Dutch company Unilever committing itself to return, the pace of foreign investment may start to grow. Rochelle, I think the one thing we can be sure of is that we are going to see a lot more trade missions here in 2016, although what the results are remain to be seen.
Now, Michael, these are historic changes that are taking place in Cuba, but just how extensive are the economic reforms? Is it finally moving towards a market economy?
It is a mixed economy now. There is a small but very small private sector, and President Raul Castro has made it clear that this will remain a command socialist economy rather than a market-driven one. He's not going down the same road as China or Vietnam. What they are pinning their hopes on, though, is this new tax-free special development zone around the port of Mariel. The port opened a couple of years ago, built with Brazilian money. It'll be able to take the very large new container ships that will come through the expanded Panama Canal. It sees this as a transshipment point to the rest of the region. This special development zone is still a work in progress. It's under construction, the roads are going in, the headquarters are taking shape. Maybe some units will open this year, but it is a slow process, and every single foreign investment has to be approved at cabinet level. It took the Council of Ministers, for example, to sign off on this Unilever deal.
Well, thank you very much, Michael Voss, there for us in Havana.